strenuously object? Is that how it works? Objection. Overruled. No. No, I strenuously object. Oh, wow.
The learning objectives are 1. Embrace the power of silence. 2. Learn to use the LAR method to manage objections, and learn to use a customer's objection as an opportunity to educate. Average sales professionals fear objections. They get defensive and end up on their heels when the customer gives the slightest hint of challenging the technology's value proposition. Great sales professional. Sales athletes embrace challenges and competition. They view objections as an opportunity to take control of the conversation and teach the customer something new. The most important thing to consider when facing an objection is that it is often a smoke screen to camouflage their insecurities or is their way of asking for more information without being vulnerable. Objections also gives you an opportunity to clarify any misconceptions or inaccurate information the surgeon's believes about the efficacy of focal therapy. There are 5 core rules to consider when handling an objection. First, pause, take a breath and consider what the customer is saying and separate it from what you heard the customer say. Taking a brief pause shows the customer that you are thoughtfully considering their objection. Too often sales professionals attack an objection and the customer feels like the rep is reading a script. Second, objection scenarios tend to make average reps nervous, increasing their speaking cadence, averaging 188 words per minute. Slow down your heart rate and focus your attention on the customer. Top sales professionals actually slow down when responding to an objection. Their cadence drops to 177 words per minute. Third, don't deliver monologues. It's easy to get excited and data dump all of the reasons the objection isn't correct. Be thoughtful in your response and only answer the objection. Fourth, be curious. Conversations are two-way streets. Ask questions to understand the origin of the objection. Top-performing reps ask an average of 3 questions for every objection. At our core, we all just want to be heard and understood. By being naturally curious and exploring the objection, you are showing the customer that they matter and you heard them. Being naturally curious and asking the customer thoughtful, clarifying questions, you will create a bond with the customer and build rapport. Finally, view objections as a learning opportunity. Use objections to learn more about your customers, how they process information, how they think, and what is important to them. At their core, objections are the customer's way of asking for more information. Use it as an opportunity to establish equal stature with the customer. Objections originate from 5 distinctive categories in the customer's mind. Let's look at each one and what the origin means to the customer. The value objection happens when the customer is challenging the value in comparison to cost and don't believe the clinical value is worth the investment, or they don't understand the tech. Urgency is another objection origin. The customer doesn't recognize the urgency of the problem. They know it's there, it's just not a priority. We need to guide them to understand their crisis point. Recognizing or admitting pain points is another objection origin. The customer might say something like, "That's not that big of a deal, I can see the value but I don't need it." Here the customer is telling you that the pain of change outweighs the pain of not changing. They know they can do better by their patients, but don't have a solution. Credibility is another objection origin. Focal One is not the household name like Medtronic and Intuitive. The surgeon is concerned that the company is challenging the status quo. The technology is new and clinical data is still being published to support HIFU for prostate cancer. This makes customers in the middle of the adoption curve nervous. Respond with the Active listening uncovers the true why. Active listening is communicated to the customer through body language. Keep your eyes on the customer, maintain neutral of positive body language. Lean into the conversation. Take a moment to pause. Show the customer that you are listening and heeding what they are saying. Keep your attention and eyes on them. Now, after a 3 to 5 seconds pause, acknowledge that you heard them and that they have a valid concern. Validate the objection and thank the customer for their candor. Now it's time to explore the objection. Like we discussed, hearing and listening are 2 very different actions. By asking thoughtful questions, you are ensuring that you're clear on the objection. After the objection has been clarified and you understand the origin and what the customer needs to hear to overcome the objection, it's time to respond. High-performing sales professionals ask at least 3 clarifying questions before responding to the objection. Tailor the questions to the customer and dig until you uncover the objection's root. The natural tendency is to respond with as much information as you have related to the objection. Use economy of words. Be short, direct, and only address the objection. When responding to the objection, provide a solution that answers the unmet need and drives measurable clinical, economic, and operational value. When responding, check in with the customer, ensure they are listening and understand the response. This is a great opportunity to provide reference stories for successful Focal One surgeons. After you have finished responding to the objection, check with the customer to see if you have addressed their concern. If you haven't, start asking more clarifying questions